Hey everyone, hello and welcome, Tony Bing again here. For this test centre video we will have a look at Nick Fury, so always excited when I get a new hero to look at, even if sometimes on day one test centre they can be a bit rusty. It's still fun to run over all these new skills. So what we'll do, as usual, we'll look at both the trees, we'll check out the talents, we'll have a look at the ult, and if I remember, because I normally forget, we'll run over the synergies as well. But let's look at the first tree of his, which is all based around these guns. So first up we have the triple tap, which is just his basic ranged pistol attack here, and it does additional damage while you're reloading. So his resource that he uses ammo, you could use a spender when it's reloading, then switch over to the basic to get a bit more damage potentially. I've not looked at the numbers yet, it may do the same damage as the actual spender, so that could be interesting there. It has an increased brutal strike chance, so that's quite different. I'm not used to seeing that on any kind of skills. Normally you maybe have an increased critical chance, but to have a increased brutal strike chance is certainly quite different there. The next skill we have is open fire, which is your main range spender attack here. Nothing really too interesting about it, just it's a main spender attack. We'll see it at the end of this particular section anyway when I run over all the skills. You can see they're on my toolbar already. But next up we have fire in the hole. So with this you're throwing a frag grenade towards your foes, and this provides vulnerability, 8-second duration, and also an 8-second cooldown on that. Hopefully the cooldown gets pulled down a bit, because I like to have vulnerability that I can spam to an extent. Even if it was 4 seconds, that would feel a little bit better. But next up we have covering fire, which is just your regular trash clearing cone attack here, and it also does slow as well. And then we have target down, which is you whipping out a big sniper rifle, and not surprisingly it's got execute associated with it. It does say as well, target down directs any summoned members of your fire team to attack the target. That's the build I think I'll go for, because the guns build is very similar to Punisher, which will happen if you're going to have lots of guns on a hero. So I think to have them a little bit different, I'll probably be going down the summon route with them. But next skill here, it's molecular destabilization grenade. That's a mouthful, that one. And with it, it's 100% bonus damage to enemies in the centre of the target area, and this is also your weaken as well. 8-second duration, 6-second cooldown. Again, like the vulnerability, if this was maybe moved down to 4 seconds, it would feel a bit better, a bit easier to apply the vulnerability and weaken. But final skill we look at in this tree before actually showing off the skills is fire and forget. So this is a rocket launcher you're firing, bonus damage to enemies in the centre of the attack area, and it has 8-second cooldown as well. So let's run over the skills, and then once we've done that we'll then look at the second tree, which is head of shield. But let's have a look at these skills here. I'm also sporting his ultimate costume to show that off. Looks pretty awesome. Here we go, we've got the first skill, which is triple tap. Simple enough. And then we have open fire. If I can click the right button. I'm used to having my actual moves like that on the right click, hence I've done that there, but let's try that once more. There we go. We could see it's got pierce as well, which is something that's really undervalued. I love lining up a line of bosses in Midtown and just firing through all of them. But next skill is fire in the hole. Simple enough, that would provide your vulnerability. And then we have covering fire. I'm going to run out of ammo just as I use it. There we go, I think I got one bullet in. Fire off that basic with the bonus damage there. But covering fire, let's do that once more. There we go, that'll be good for taking out trash. And then target down. So that'll be a sniper shot and also directing your summons. And then we have the and you'd struggle with that. We have the molecular destabilization grenade with your weaken. There we go. And then we finish up with fire and forget here. And there we go. All simple enough. So let's now have a look at the next tree. Now with this tree, the first skill we start off with will be Never See Me Coming, which is your dash, and this also has stealth on it as well there. It does the usual, remove crowd control, and it has the same charges we're used to, 3 charges, 4-second cooldown. And then we have Drone Strike. If you've played Black Widow you'll know this skill. It's got a dot there for 2 seconds, 8-second cooldown. And then we have End It. So cloak yourself from your targets to stealthily reappear behind them. I've tried this and it's great, but I don't know where it would actually fit into a build because you're not actually a melee character, so a bit of a strange skill. It is great, but I'm just struggling to think where I could fit it in anywhere. It's got a 6-second cooldown and execute as well. Next up, this is pretty awesome, we have Lola on Loan, and this will do bonus damage from summon effects. It's got a 6-second duration and 12-second cooldown. It doesn't say it's not affected by power duration, so we could hopefully bump that up a bit there. Then we have Born Leader, and with this you empower, and you also get damage bonus for your summoned allies. Duration 5 seconds, cooldown 20. Again, it looks like we could maybe pull it up a little bit through power duration because there's no tag that says it's not affected by it. And then we have Danger Close. So with this, you use the helicarrier to call in a precision strike. This is pretty nice. The animation could maybe do being sped up a little bit, but it is nice. I like the idea of this. It's got a 2-second stun as well. And then we have Eyes Everywhere, your signature. So you're invulnerable for the duration of it. You get grenade damage, sniper damage, and you also get a damage, attack speed and movement speed buff as well there. It's a bit of a strange one this. I don't think I'm sold on it, to be honest. A lot of the actual area of effect goes off near you, and again, you're a ranged hero or you're a summon hero, so you shouldn't be near the enemies. I'll show it off and it'll make more sense, but let's run over these skills before we look at the talents. So we've got Never See Me Coming. Simple enough really, to be honest. And then we have Drone Strike. There we go. And then we've got End It. As I say, I love the idea of this. I just don't know where I'd fit it in. That's great. Just quickly going behind them and doing that one shot. Let's do it once more. Looks great. Just fingers crossed I can find a way to fit it into a build. But next up we have Lola on Loan. There we go, that's pretty nice. And then we have Born Leader, which is the steroid buff. There we go there. And then we have Danger Close. There we go, pretty nice, but as I mentioned, it could do with being quicker because the time that fires off, I'd imagine the enemy possibly would have moved. Let's show it off one more time actually. I do like that. I hope there can be a little bit more to do with the helicarrier, to be honest, in later iterations of them, because that's quite fun. But here's this signature. So there we go. Bit strange, bit underwhelming really. All the explosions going off around them, and if you're ranged and you're not near the enemy, they're not hitting, and the only thing that would hit is actually the sniper fire there. So I'm not really sold on that. Hopefully that will see some changes. But let's now look at the talents and traits. So what we'll do for this section is we'll look at the offensive and defensive traits, look at the talents, and then when we finish up we'll have a look at the synergy, the movement power, and also the ultimate as well. But offensive trait, you have Master Strategist, critical hit damage 15%, the archetype is Strategist, which is probably the best in the game, giving you a bonus to fighting and intelligence. For the defensive trait we have Infinity Formula, you gain 3% dodge chance, archetype is Nimble, and you gain a multiplier to deflect and also dodge. For his resource you have Ammo. Now ammo does not naturally regenerate. When fully drained it starts to rapidly restore, 15% there, so it's around about 6-7 seconds it takes to restore. But for the talents we have Secret Agent Man. So Born Leader, which is this skill here, transforms into Without a Trace, so click that, see that change, and with it, when you use Without a Trace, you and your allies become concealed and target down and end it gain 50% damage. Next talent, Life Model Decoy. When below 30% health, you gain 25% of your max health for 3 seconds, 20-second cooldown, and you got the iconic fact that when and if you're defeated, it's actually a life model decoy that's been defeated rather than the original Nick Fury. I do like that. For this particular line of talents all the way down here, these are all to do with the summon side of things. So this one will call in, when you're attacking, a shield field infantry agent. Talent line number 2, we've got Wingman. So when we use this, Drone Strike transforms into Eye in the Sky, and that's Falcon's drone Red Wing. So let's show that off. That's strange, that didn't change it. Let's try that once more. There we go, this time. Simple enough. And next up we have Now You See Me. So your dash gains 2 charges, and while you're invisible during your dash you regenerate 15% of your health there. And then for this particular summon skill, when attacking we would summon a shield CQC infantry agent as well. We then have Flyover. So Fire and Forget transforms into Making War, and with this, War Machine will fly over. You can see that there. Animation on it doesn't appear to be finished yet. Yeah, it's most definitely not finished, animation on it. But let's look at the next talent. We have Bandolier. So molecular destabilization grenades in a hit always does a brutal strike, and it gains 2 charges, and Fire in the Hole also gains 2 charges as well. And for our third summon talent, we call in a Field Medic. This is interesting. This medic will actually cast Protected on you, so that's really interesting. I don't think there's any other summons in the game like that. I do like the idea of that. But talent line 4, we've got Close and Personal. So Fire in the Hole transforms into Heads Down. It's a point blank power that Fury throws right above himself, become invincible when the explosion rips targets around him to shreds with critical damage. We can see that there. Let's fire this off. It's a strange skill. It's another one that's a bit like End It, and then it feels like it should be for a melee build, which you don't actually have on them. So it'll be interesting to see if those skills change or what happens to hopefully pull them into builds. But next talent, we've got Double Tap, and simple one. End Its cooldown is refreshed when you use Target Down, and Target cooldown comes down by 2 seconds. Pretty simple there. And for the final summon talent, when attacking we would summon a shield minigun infantry agent. What I'll do at the end of this is I'll select all 4 of these. May as well even do it now actually. And then I'll fire off a skill to see them all call in. They're currently using the older models, but hopefully in time they'll update the models, or even allow us to bring in some people like, I can't remember the name of her now, the one that's second in command to Nick Fury and everyone really wants as an alternative skin for her. Yep, cannot remember it at all. But you've got others like Dum Dum Duggan and so on. Let me know in the comments the name of the one I'm completely forgetting here. But for the final talent line, we have Blitz, and when you use Eyes Everywhere, you instantly reset the cooldown of non-signature powers. Maria Hill, that's the name. That's the one I couldn't get there. I got it when I wasn't thinking about it. But next talent, we've got Shock and Awe. So Eyes Everywhere, Never Say Die effect causes danger close to fire 2 additional strikes. So I'll show this off. We'll fire this off, follow up with this. There we go, there's additional strikes there. And in fact, I didn't mean for that to happen, but of course when I'm attacking, there's all the summons. So you can see they're using the older models there. Looks quite jarring next to Fury's costume and how good it looks, so fingers crossed by the time he goes live they'll update that. I'm sure at one point during a live stream I've seen some pictures of updated models. There we go, that's them off now. So for the final talent, we've got Fire Team, Esprit de Corps, if that's how I say it. So Eyes Everywhere's Never Say Die effect now grants your Fire Team 10% damage and attack speed for each member present. Not updating in the tooltip, but it is there anyway. So what we'll do, just before we finish up, and always a good way to finish these videos, we'll quickly look at the movement power synergy and then the ultimate. So movement power, it's just his bike. I'll actually show it off. There we go. spikes do handle pretty nice now in the game. Synergy, bit underwhelming. We have 2% defense rating multiplier and 3% damage versus enemies not targeting you. And then let's finish up with the ultimate, which is let them have it. So you're whipping out a big energy gun and firing off. This looks great. Here we go. Pretty awesome looking. So I hope you had fun watching this video. It does feel like he's got quite a bit of work that still needs to be done on him, but let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course let the developers know on the Test Centre forums what you think as well. But thanks for tuning in, and see you all again soon.